What's happening, y'all? I am the Bald Kid Nostalgic, and this is SlickBlast RapCast once again, building momentum from yesterday's mix and match three. It's been great. We'll be having a special guest on, underground MC from the Midwest. He's been doing a lot of dope things in the underground circuit, and he's been doing it well. Shout out to everybody that's on. What's happening, everybody? Shout out. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped. Is the L Orange album in particular. I want to know if I've been saying it right this whole time. L Orange, L'Orange. What's up, my brother? Much love to you, Holtz, Pedro. Yeah, there goes Stik Figa. We're gonna get this session going on. Talk some hip hop. All right. There he is. All right. I think he's in. We're locked and loaded.
What's going on?
What's up, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Good, man. Blessed, just to another day, man, is a bonus. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Every day above ground.
yes,
What
exactly.
my mom and my granny used to say.
Absolutely. And I see you're rocking the Wu-Tang shirt, right? I see that Wu-Tang shirt.
Yes, sir. It's a Wu-Tang kind of day.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. So, well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for being on SlickBlast RapCast. I want to give everybody their flowers. That's what I do on the show. So I want to give you your flowers as an MC. You've been doing.
Thank you, man. That's crazy.
That's what we do here, man. We just, I like to show love to everybody that's on, and it's important to acknowledge while we're physically here. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's only right. So, I get guests, MCs that I admire, producers, DJs, and it's only right to appreciate what's going on because, as you know, the way it is nowadays, man, it's just we're living in crazy times. So you never know.
Well, that's very humbling, man, and I'm greatly flattered by that I made the cut for that. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Absolutely, it's a pleasure, and we appreciate you being on once again. My wife's a fan of yours as well. She's a hip hop head.
Shout out to her, man. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, man, if you don't mind, we're gonna go in the DeLorean, and go back in time.
Okay.
I want to know, your influences because you have an interesting style where you have the lyrical wordplay down packed. You can go storyteller route and you can go like rapid fire where I'm gonna eat you up. So it's
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've always admired that about you. And then especially in that L Orange production, that album in particular, that's when I paid attention. I was like, damn, like,
Yeah.
And yeah, so take me back, man. Take me back to when you were younger, and the foundation of how Stik Figa became, Stik Figa, and your influences and your love when you discovered the love for this beautiful culture.
Yeah. Well, I was born in '82, so I'm knocking on 40's door here soon. So with me, hip hop was something that just was like it was always around in one form or another. I think my earliest memory of hip hop is the movie Crush Groove.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was probably like 5 years old, and we lived. My dad was in the military, so we lived in Germany at the time, and we had
wow.
Yeah, we had this box of tapes that was Betamax. If I want to age myself, but that was like the TVs there, were in German, so we didn't understand any of it. So we had this box from the States that had everything we cared about. And in that box was like, episodes of the Cosbys, uh, Sesame Street, all that stuff. And then there was Last Dragon, The Wiz.
Ooh.
Yeah, so like all of that stuff was like part of my makeup. And but on there was Crush Groove and the scene where LL busts in and he raps radio.
Yes.
That was probably my first. He was like my first favorite rapper was LL Cool J.
Wow.
That I'm bad, all of that kind of stuff was the first hip hop stuff I cared about. Shout out to my man Mello who's in there. Everybody was in here checking it out. But
I love it, man. Shout out to your people. Thank you for being on with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that was the first one. And then when we got back to the States, all my family's from the South. So the big thing was Ghetto Boys. All my older cousins
yes,
was big. So Scarface was a big deal. Too Short was a big deal. And then a lot of West Coast music was a big deal. Like I said, Too Short, stuff from the Bay, like Richie Rich, and that kind of music was really popular. It wasn't until the 90s when I relocated. We ended up relocating from the South to Topeka, a town called Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
50 miles outside of Kansas City. And I started getting into, I still was into what I was into, but I had a friend his name was Taiwan Wiley.
Okay.
Rest in peace. He was from Detroit originally. We went to middle school together. And
rest in peace, by the way. Rest in peace.
Yeah. He and this is why I talk about him so much, is because he was like the first guy to open my mind up to like Wu-Tang Clan. He had a copy of he had a tape of the
36?
Jizza.
Oh, okay.
Liquid Swords. And that was the one. I was like, what is this? Like, what even is this? This is like, I was like, what even is it? Like, the sounds were so different and the stuff they were rapping about was so different. It wasn't nothing like I had ever heard before. So it really like opened my mind. And ever since then, I was like, I want to rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to try to do different things. I started off writing poetry. I used to read a lot, as a kid.
That's great.
Yeah, I used to read a lot as a kid. So my mom was she was a substitute teacher. She was in education. And she was religious as well. So I always was either reading the Bible or I was reading encyclopedias. I was reading Huckleberry Finn, all the stuff that, like standard stuff, all that kind of stuff, Malcolm X. I mean, I was reading a lot. So I started off just wanting to be a writer. And then from there, I remember I took a class. I feel like I'm rambling, but I took
no, this is what it's about, man. Ramble away, man.
Okay. Well, I took a class in high school. I took a creative writing. There was two classes in particular, two teachers in particular. I had a teacher named Miss Vega. She was my creative writing teacher. And then I had an African-American studies teacher. Her name was Miss Jones, Miss Burl Jones. And I read a lot in that class, and I wrote a lot in the other class. And I started like trying to write poems and short stories and stuff like that. And I noticed that like, it's like one of them things where you try to be cool, because I never was cool, you know what I mean? But I wanted to be. So I was writing raps, and battling was the thing to do. So I would battle everybody in this school. I try to find everybody in the school across town. Like I was just
hey, you were battling the teachers, the janitors.
I was like everybody. Like, once I figured, I was like, that's what hip hop is supposed to be. You're supposed to, pull rank. You're supposed to, pull up on whoever thinks that they're the best and improve it. So that's kind of like, that's all I knew how to do at a certain point. And I think in the high school years, I was really into Corrupt. I liked Corrupt. I liked Wu-Tang. I like Bone, Do or Die.
Nice.
And then like I discovered the internet. I remember my dad got our first computer towards the end of school, and I found out about this website called Sandbox Automatic.
Okay.
and that's where you got all the underground stuff. And I started just hanging out on that website and sort of forums. I used to hang on forums like sickness.net, and I would hang out on Hip Hop Infinity and a couple other. Phila Flavor was another forum I used to go on and soak all that stuff up because I'm from somewhere where I couldn't get access to this music.
Right.
And so I'm buying tapes and buying CDs, and that's kind of where it all started, I think. But if the long story long, it's my main influences, I would say, are like, if I were to like chop it down, it would be like Scarface, Ice Cube, Devin the Dude.
Nice.
Nas.
Woo.
E40. Man, there's so many. Andre 3000.
I can see that.
Aesop Rock.
Oh, yes. Yes. One of the best, by the way. Aesop Rock is one of the best.
I mean, that kind of, I mean, it's and that's where the mix comes from. You know what I mean? It's like it's a gumbo of things that influence me because I've always been able to see, like, not being from a particular coast or, you know, I think we're not from a region where we had like our own sound at the time.
Right.
The sound that was most popular was the West Coast and Southern sounds. So, and then when I, you know, started listening to East Coast stuff, I just kind of brought it into my orbit, and it made me, that with the underground stuff, just kind of like that stuff made me the artist I am. Just kind of having access and seeing value in all kinds of different music. You know what I mean? Different types of hip hop. Because I know it was a big thing to be like, well, this is real hip hop and that's fake hip hop, or this is that.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, I bought into that for a little bit, but then when I started making my own stuff and I wanted to represent myself, I was like, if I'm being honest, there's a lot that influences me that may not fit into those particular brackets. So
right.
That's kind of how it all happened. You know?
And I like that you said that because, yeah, I'm an MC as well. And again, I just do it for the love of the culture, you know, and it's crazy because what you said is your style is a concoction of different regions. And I love that because it's a universal thing.
Right.
And when you mentioned, you said E40, Ice Cube, and then you said Wu-Tang, I can hear the Southern, Western, Midwest, West Coast combination in your style. It's almost like a concoction. So it reflects in everybody that you mentioned, because hearing you, it's like, that's the best thing about standing out as an MC. It's almost like the era that we grew up in. And I'm a couple years ahead of you. We're in the class photo. We're in the same class photo.
No doubt.
And that's the beauty of it, man. I don't see it as a regional thing. I see it as, you know, same thing with me. I'm a Chicago kid that grew up, born and raised in Chicago in the Midwest. But I was always infatuated with West Coast, East Coast, South. Like, it didn't matter what, as long as you were dope and you were bringing it.
That's it.
And that's it.
If it was dope and if it stood out, you know what I mean, and it grabbed my ear, I'll give it a shot. I'll listen. I sometimes, some of my homeboys make fun of me because I listen to anything. I'll check it out. I'll be like, I'll give it a try. You know, just I try to stay open-minded when it comes to hip hop because there's just so many. And I'm even leaving out like the hieroglyphic stuff and the Project Blowed stuff and the quantum stuff and like all of that kind of stuff, all that access to these different types of sounds, you know, just kind of made me more open-minded.
And that's super cool, man. Yeah, you had me laughing because when you said in your grade school, you were going at everybody. I was picturing the lunch lady not giving you an extra pizza the next day.
Yeah, man. I mean, there are a few battles, man, that are like still like, they were like pivotal moments because there was one in particular. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but it was like the magnetism around using your voice for me that made me like, yo, this is powerful stuff. But me and this guy were battling, and it was only a few people. And then I looked up, and there's this area in our high school where, like, we called it the dungeon.
Oh.
Because the dungeon is like this area where the basketball players or the basketball players in the gym is like where they're supposed to hang out at before they go out and do the court.
Gotcha.
Building, but our school was really old, so it was like an old building, and then like the lunchroom was across the street. But there are people just hanging, watching us battle, like all the way up the stairs, to the left of me, to the right of me, everywhere. And it wasn't like super lyrical at the time, but there was like, I think I said, we were going back and forth, and I was like, I gotta get to class, and then the bell rang, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, the bell rang, and I was like, man, I gotta get to class, and besides that, I'm through whooping that ass. And the whole area erupted, like, you know. And I think that reaction is what kind of got me on my path. It's like, all right, this is a thing that you can do, that like you can grab people's attention, and you can, for good, bad, and different.
Yeah.
Do something that you could do something from here, you know, that affects people in a physical way, in a spiritual way, a bunch of different ways. So
that's a dope story, and I love that, man. Hearing stories like that, it's cool, because it's an evolution of what you become, right, as an MC and as artists as a whole.
It's the thing that's in here, and the youthful thing in you,
yes,
that propels that, you know. So
yes, and that's the motivation of us writing and continuing to keep on, and just it's a feel good thing. Yeah, it's a feel good feeling. Yeah, so it's a dope story. I love it, man. Yeah, because you know how it is in elementary school. There's always a peer pressure thing where you wanted to be the man, and sometimes there was already 2 or 3 guys like that, and you were like, I'll still, you know.
Yeah, that was a big part of it, because it's like, you know, and you from Chicago, so I'm sure you can relate, but like, yeah, in our area, the coolest thing to do was be in the streets. So,
right,
you know, I had went through like a little identity issue with that, because I was like, man, I don't want to be a sucker, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be, I don't want to be none of that. I just want to be me, but I also don't want to get shoved in no lockers, which no one's ever done to me. But
thank God.
But it's like, but I'm like, how do I navigate this? And I think the music gave me a way to express myself in a way that like set me apart without me having to fall into certain, you know, stuff that gets you in trouble. So that's part of it. Even though, you know, my folks, I was a latchkey kid, man, so they didn't know what I was doing half the time. But lucky for them, I was writing raps and watching Rap City, and you know what I'm saying? And
MTV Raps.
Yeah. So it gave me something to do that didn't have to, you know, have the thing that I thought was cool at the time, or the only thing that people thought was cool at the time, was either sports or the streets. I wasn't athletic, and you know, I wasn't athletic, and I wasn't violent enough, you know. So I was like,
right. You had a good balance. You were in the middle. You were in the middle of it.
In the middle, but you know, sometimes the middle makes you feel like you ain't standing out. So I think that's what the rap thing did for me. You know, it gave me a way to express myself and not completely be, like I said, to get stuffed in the trash can cat.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, because man, I think same. I feel the same way about you, the same way you feel. It's a mutual feeling in terms of hip hop was, I'll say, for both of us, because we're in the same. We're from the same generation, the golden era. Yeah. Hip hop was an escapism for us, and whatever we try to emulate, we developed our own style, and it became our style and identity, and without trying to stand out without trying to stand out forcefully, it happened naturally. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel about it. You know, with your story, it resonates. So it's cool. It's a beautiful thing. So you said you're in right now you're in Kansas. You said you're out.
No, I'm from Kansas. I'm from Topeka, Kansas.
Cool.
But I'm in Topeka, Kansas, by way of Memphis. But I'm living in Fort Worth, Texas right now.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah. Cool, man. I got a homie in the military. He just got stationed in Texas, so he's still adjusting to living over there. Yeah.
It's different, man. It's hot, but it's a lot of opportunity out here if you're willing to work. It's a lot out here for you. And they got a cool music scene too.
Yes. And I heard it's beautiful over there as well. Just
Yeah,
I heard it's beautiful.
It's just like everybody from LA and San Francisco are moving here because it's cheaper to live here than out there. Maybe
Right.
I've met a lot of Chicago people too
Mm-hmm.
who've been out here, moving out here as well. One of my best buddies out here is from Chicago, so.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Very cool. So there's always a connection with everybody,
Yeah,
so.
man. Absolutely.
But, so this is one thing I wanted to, from an MC to an MC to a brotherly MC.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're human beings, and I know that we always try to be positive, but you know how it is sometimes. It's like, okay, sometimes you scout out different situations and particular artists, and you're like, that guy's got phenomenal production and he's blessed, but he's only saying one or two things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a guy like yourself, and you'll see where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
You got an MC like yourself that obviously your ear for production is dope. Is genuinely dope because Exile,
mm-hmm.
which I didn't even know until recently, because every guest that I have on, most of the times I know most of the resume, but every day I'm still learning. Like certain things that I didn't miss or maybe didn't catch, and I'm like, wow, Black Milk, Knots, Exile. Aside from El Orange, mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, you have an ear for ill production, and right. and then the MC abilities to go with it to match it. So I think that's a beautiful combination, and it's rare. I think it's I'm not saying it's rare where a lot of MCs don't have it, but there's some that are on the mainstream side of it where it's like, okay, you only said two things, but somebody just blessed you with a beautiful beat, and it's just like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. What are we doing? Like, I don't know. Right, sometimes right. You get what I'm saying,
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like, well, it's a twofold thing because there's a lot of MCs, or artists, writers, rappers, whatever category they feel they fall in,
right?
Who can really, really write, but they don't have the ear for music or production. Then you have guys who can't rhyme at all who have the best ear for it. So
exactly.
Yeah, so for me, like, again, I just try to draw off what I feel is the main thing, and then, I mean, if I have something to say, I try not to even rhyme on nothing unless I got something to say or a feeling that I want to convey. So
yes.
If the feeling that I want to convey is just like I'm the best rapper ever, or jokes that I want to get off, or something that I think is funny, because that's actually half of, like, if you listen to me and Conductor Williams' project, Heavens to Murgatroyd, the whole time I was just like, I just want to say something that's gonna make him laugh when he mixes it.
Yeah,
make someone laugh. So like that's a large part of my personality as well, and it's like just trying to get as many shades of my personality out and finding the music that matches the mood I'm in when I'm in that mood. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the thing, really, is just music. I always just say that music is just like the best way to try to articulate emotion. That's all you're really trying to do. And it's always hard to describe feelings. And you hear a lot of artists who are like, man, I see colors when I make beats. Like, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, that's not me.
Right.
But I do think, I kind of think in terms of like, what part of the movie is this, or what's happening emotionally with you that matches this feeling that you have, And I just try to look for music that matches my emotions and my thoughts, so that I can put pen to paper, and then I can, express myself however I can. And that's the thing, man. Like, a lot of people don't think in those terms. I think a lot of people just think in terms of what's going to get girls to shake their behind, or what's going to sell X amount of CDs or get this many streams or whatever. A lot of people ain't thinking in terms of like art.
Yep.
Not to be, and that sounds pretentious, but
no,
a lot of people not thinking in those terms though. People are just thinking about the bottom line. And I mean, if I was thinking more about the bottom line, maybe I'd be wherever. But as far as my like integrity is concerned, I'm more comfortable expressing myself the way I am now.
And I'm glad that you said that because, yeah, it correlates into authenticity, and you stand out on your own. You stand out, and it's just like it goes back to our era, the '90s, where you knew who Pharoah Monch was, you knew who Raekwon was, you knew who A$AP Rock was, you knew who Nas was. Everybody had their own identities, and it was so authentic to a T, where it was like, Jesus Christ, where did these guys come from? Are they from planet Mars? Are these guys aliens? Because it was mind blowing for us when we were blessed in that era. It was like, I remember, I know you would say that to your boys, that you were like, damn, they all had their own style. It's crazy how everybody had their own style and they were ahead of their time.
That was the biggest deal. Like, that's the thing that's different, is that back then you had to be different. So if you was biting or you sounded like somebody else, you was getting clowned. So,
or thrown in the locker, like you said earlier.
Yeah, thrown in the locker, thrown on stage, whatever. Get booed. Like, I remember, man, even just being a kid, I was afraid of people booing. Like, that's the number one thing to get you booed is to either just be all the way whack or sound like somebody else. And that's what I didn't want. So, you know.
It's a fear. I know. It's definitely a fear, for sure.
That's what it was all about. It's just your originality.
Right. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're chopping it up with the gentleman, Stik Figa. He's a gentleman, and we're talking hip hop. And once again, it's a pleasure to have you on, man. So,
thanks, man, thank you. I'm
absolutely.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So let's talk about the city under the city, man. I want to go back to that L Orange world that you and him. It was just that whole album to me was a soundscape and a soundtrack of, because obviously his production, anyways, is kind of eerie and dark, and it's like a cinematic audiophile kind of flavor. But your style and his, and I reached out to you obviously off record, and I said, hey man, I'm trying to manifest it. That's my positive thinking, is I try to manifest dope projects and artists that were magical together, as I like to say. And that's why I reached out to you. I was like, dude, I think that L Orange used to holler like at you because it was a special album, and every track had its own personality and its own soundscape, if that makes sense. Because some people rush to make 1 through 5, and number 6 is a banger, then number 7 is an intro, and it gets lazy after that. But I feel like your album with L was like, it was authentic and it was not rushed. It was just underground hip hop at its purest form. And it was just, yeah, man. So if you could take me, if you could take us back and you can, how did you meet? So am I saying it correctly? Because one of the homies told me yesterday was, what is it?
Larange.
Okay. So
yeah, Larange. But I know him, and he knows that people get it wrong, so I don't think he'll charge you for it. But yeah, like the cold part is, the thing about that album was, I had put out a record with Mellow Music Group. Well, I had connected with Odyssey, independent of Mellow Music Group at the time.
Oh yeah.
And me and Odyssey the initial plan was to put out a collaborative album.
Gotcha.
And after that, it was still in the works, but in the meantime, we were like, yo, who can we put you with, or what can we put together? And Larange was a new producer on the label. And I remember, because I was in LA with my wife's family, visiting my wife's family.
Yeah.
And, they called and was like, what do you think about, doing something with Larange? I'll share some details with you about him, send you some music. And I'll be completely honest. Initially, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, that's not what I do. Like, in my mind, I was like, that's not what I do. But after I thought about it for a little bit, I was like, it could go. And he did a remix of a song that I did with my brother, Conductor Williams.
Nice.
And it was hard. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So yeah, I believe I was one of the first rappers or full length rappers to work with him from track 1 to track 15.
Right.
And he already had a vision for what he wanted to do, and he just kind of shared his vision with me, and I felt like I just kind of wrote the script to the music. So it was kind of like he had the vision and I was the actor. He was the director and I was the actor, and he just kind of gave direction as to like, well, in this scene this is what's happening, and in this scene this is what's happening, and rhyme in this way. You know, I mean, it wasn't like specific to where like you have to rhyme about X, Y, and Z, but it was like match the mood of the music. So it was dope, and we got to link in person as well, which doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
In today's rap world, you know. So yeah, we got to link together and recorded it with before I actually met him though, I had recorded the whole thing with my brother Josh Browning. Shout out to him, a real close friend of mine who's
shout out to Josh.
Incredible videographer now, but he was also an incredible mix engineer as well.
Oh,
so,
wow. Salute.
Recording engineer, but yeah, that's how it came to be.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Yeah. And two of my favorite songs on that, I mean, the whole album is obviously dope. I enjoyed it a lot. Smoke Rings, you brought the heavy artillery. Like, it was just it was in your face. Like, it was one of your, it was that in your face mood that you had. Like, I'm coming hard at you. Like, I'm attacking. Yeah. I'm attacking the lunch lady, the cleaning lady.
I felt like I had something to prove, man. Like, I felt like, because I was just signed to Mello, or I was putting out a record on Mello.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, because it's actually a thing of like, I used to be real bad at writing songs. Well, I mean, I always can improve on writing songs, but I was never like a songwriter. I just wrote rhymes.
Right. There's a difference.
Like, I didn't write for a hook. I didn't write for, like, the whole thing used to be for me is like, again, being a Wu-Tang fan, I'm like, it don't need a hook. I don't want it to have a hook. I just want to go crazy for, 6 minutes or whatever. Everybody don't want to hear that though. But this was one of those rare moments where on that song, just because of the way that the production was, it did kind of put me in that mind of like, yo, just eat, just eat. And that's what I did. And it turned out I probably still one of like the better or the more known songs from that record. I think it's that one, Holding Back. Well, no, from that record, it's that one in Monochrome.
But guess what? Great minds think alike, because that's the second song I was going to bring up was Monochrome.
Yeah, Monochrome.
Yep. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, just reflecting. Like, I'm a bit of a romantic, so I spend a lot of time in the past, I guess.
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Not at all.
I'm reflecting.
So yeah, man. I think it's one of those things. I like to manifest things. I had Master Ace on, the legend, and he said he wanted to. I do this with everybody, and I'm gonna eventually ask you. He said he wanted to work with Missy Elliott. Yeah, right. And I can, because he said it would challenge him, and I'm like, okay, cool. It would get you outside of your comfort zone, I guess. But now that we're talking about that, I'm going to ask you, dead or alive, you could take your time with it. Dead or alive, it could be a producer, it could be a b-boy, an MC, a group, the lunch lady. It doesn't matter. Who are you working with that you haven't worked with, dead or alive, that if they hit you up this Saturday and said, "Hey, Stik Figa, let's go in the studio and let's do this," who would be 3 people, MCs or any artist, that you would say, no hesitation, I'm on it, let's go?
DJ Quick.
Ooh. I'm writing this down. DJ Quick. Okay.
Yeah, DJ Quick.
Nice.
E40.
Oh,
And,
Bay Area. Okay.
and
You mentioned Wu-Tang. You mentioned Ice
Dead or
Cube.
Alive, man. Yeah, Quick, 40, and probably Mad.
MF Doom, Big L, Big Pun, Biggie.
Too many incredible people.
I know.
Uh, Probably Devin the Dude, man. I really want to.
Okay.
Yeah, I tell you this. Yeah, I want Quick to make the beat. I want Devin to sing the hook.
Ooh,
40 to feature, and we're gonna do it like that.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah,
Nice. All right, that's cool. It's a Hall of Fame list, man.
yeah, that's the dream right there. That's the
Yeah,
record.
yeah, and I've said it a couple times on the show actually. Devin the Dude is criminally underrated.
Absolutely.
That guy is he's having a conversation with you while he's rapping. It's almost like
Yeah,
it's effortless when he does it. It's almost like he doesn't even try.
yeah.
And
That's always
that's
been the thing I've been chasing. It's like I heard he had a song called Lackville 79. And when I heard that song, I was like, yo, anyone can relate to this. And that's what a good song is, you know? It don't got to be whack and it don't got to be corny to be able to pull that off. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
so, yeah, he had that song and Boo Booing,
Yeah,
like two of my favorite rap songs ever. On
classics.
the
Those
list.
are classics too, by the way. Classics.
Yeah.
Um, I'm impressed, man. Like I said, with your production, your ear for production. How did you how did you make it happen with Exile and Black Milk and Knots and those guys? Like, I'm a big fan of all those guys.
Mhm.
They're so consistent and dope in their crafts, and they're students of the culture. I love it, and it sounds like '90s, but their style, like modern, right?
Right.
But for you, like, how did that happen? Okay, with Exile, I ask you first with Exile. How did that come about? Exile,
Man, I
he's
keep it all the way clean. Like I just I talked to Mike at Mellow Music Group, and he kind of just gave me like free reign on that album. He was like, "Who do you want to work with?" And name some producers that you think are dope that you want to work with. And that's kind of how it happened. And I think he just kind of had the resources and he had the access to those people. So
wow.
when I started putting together a list of people I wanted to work with, because one of the other people I wanted to, it didn't happen, but we had a conversation about I wanted to work with Bun B on that album,
Oh,
but we ended it. He was like, name somebody. He kind of same kind of conversation, like name people that you would love to work with that are that are living, and I was like, man, Bun, Killer Mike, uh, that would be dope. And he just,
yeah.
we kind of just worked through that. And it was like, that's how Rappin' Forte ends up on the album.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because Rappin' Forte, that might have been one of the earlier first songs I learned by heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, Players Club.
Because there you go. And I was impressed by that. Well, Rappin' Forte, because like I said, that album that I just studied, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nice album.
That was one of my childhood favorite albums and everything. So, but yeah, that and El Zai. I got the El Zai.
Dude,
I was like, 'cause that was another one of those like bucket list things where like I want to rap with El Zai.
yes.
I want to rap with El Zai and show that I'm a El Zai level rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
you can hang with those big dogs.
Yeah, like that.
You can hang with them.
These are my peers, as opposed to like I'm just on some like I'm just a fan. I am a fan, but
Right.
I also want people to know that like yo, I'm in that league. Another. You know what? I'm gonna circle back to that last question you asked me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna add an amendment to it. Is Fonte? Fonte is somebody I want to work with.
Dude.
I want to work with Phonte before I quit rapping.
Wow. That's a statement.
My list.
All right, well, let's manifest that. Let's manifest that. Phonte, I'm going to tag Phonte and then put him on your post, one of them, and just try to connect you guys that way.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, so I agree. Yeah, Phonte and Elzhi have been, 2 out of the 5 as far as the new school goes, and not new school, but our generation.
More recent, like from our,
exactly.
Our class, you know,
from our class, correct. Those guys, they're dope. So
yeah,
you obviously, obviously you and Elzhi, you guys stood out together. It was a nice even keel. It meshed well. And again,
I like that song a lot.
Yeah, it's a dope song, man. And then, wow, the Knots production. That's another. Damn.
Yeah. Like,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hall of Fame producers is all I got to say, man. So, you should definitely.
I'm glad I got to make it happen. I'm glad I got to make it happen. You know.
So, okay, so let's talk about your current project, brother. Now we could kind of get back into the present time.
Yeah.
And let's definitely dissect the current album. So you said he's one of your close friends, or the producer that did your recent one, your recent album.
So I'm working on a lot at the same time right now. Right now we got me and DJ Sean P, who's from out here in Fort Worth, working on a project called East of McVicker Avenue, which is McVicker in Topeka is kind of like what do you call it? Like a line of demarcation from, if you live, it used to be said, if you lived east of McVicker, it was the tough spot. If you lived west of McVicker, that's where the prosperity was. And I actually lived like 4, maybe 2 blocks from the line of demarcation. So it got me to thinking, I want to tell stories from this side of town, and in addition, I have like this whole thing about, Topeka is not a place that it's just considered flyover country. Even in the region, people forget about that town and they think about Kansas City. Like even now when I tell people I'm from Kansas, they go, "Oh, Kansas City," So
yeah,
it's like
it's automatic. They assume.
Like, yeah, just because it's not, it's not a place that people think about. So, but it's where I'm from. And a lot of people I care about are from, and people I lost, and people I grew up with, and a lot of important memories and things like that matter to me. So, that's kind of what the theme of that project is when you flying over places or you're forgetting about places, just remember that there's people there and they got stories and lives and things that matter to them. So we got that project in the works. I'm working on another project with Conductor Williams.
Okay.
Me and him have been collaborating on music for a good decade now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just, more recently, he's always been an incredible artist and producer, but more recently he's kind of gained some notoriety with his work with Griselda, with what's done in particular. So, yeah. And he's, like I consider him a brother of mine, man. We family at this point, because me and him have just been locked in for so long. And we're working on a project as well. It's called Joyland.
It's called Joyland, you said?
Yeah, Joyland.
Nice.
I don't want to give away too much about that one.
No, that's good. That's good enough. That's good enough.
Hear it when it happens, because I think
exactly.
some of our best work. I think. And then I'm also working on a project called Heresy with August Fanon.
Oh.
Who recently, actually just today, his re-release of his production with Makami, HBO, was released today. And he's done a lot of work with Arm & Hammer and a ton of other incredible artists, and he too is an incredible producer on his own as well. So we're putting that out this year as well. So those are the 3 to be looking out for.
Nice.
Those are the 3 to be looking out for in the future. Those are the projects that I'm focused on. So
very dope, man.
Yeah, stay tuned, man.
Absolutely, and I like the consistency of it. That you're staying busy, and you're not like DJ Qbert said. He was a guest on the show as well. He said, "Yeah, the legendary DJ Qbert, and he's a cool dude too. He's a real humble cat." Mm-hmm. He said, "What's He's an older gentleman, but the guy looks like he's still freaking 28.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah.
he said one thing. He gave advice to the listeners and all of us. He said, "Don't stay complacent. Just because you make a banger and you make a successful 5 or 6 EP, that one album sells or whatever it does, and you're happy with it, don't be complacent. Continue to keep moving, keep going, keep going."
Yeah, for sure.
So you're definitely an example of that, as you've been consistent, and the evolution of you is obviously growing even more. And it's cool, man, because to say that you're working with a brother of a decade, I think that if this makes any sense, I think that the music's going to be even more naturally better because you guys know each other, and there's a natural chemistry versus working with someone like El Orange, and all respect to him, you know, you guys made a phenomenal album, but I think the brotherly difference there's an edge on that, right? I feel like there's an edge to it.
The chemistry is beyond the music. Like,
exactly.
The chemistry is beyond the music. We vibe on a level that's not even just about music. Half the time when we talk, it ain't even about music. So when we finally get down to making records, we just have a good time doing it. And we in them moments, we just impressing each other or pushing each other to make the best records we can, you know?
That's great, man. That's great. So, so what are you checking for right now, man, in terms of like anybody that impresses you now, like as far as the new guys, or have you been listening to old school stuff? Like anybody new out as far as like the underground scene that has impressed you from the new school, the newer generation kids? There's a couple of them out there now.
It's a mixed bag, man. Like I do spend a lot of time listening to old records though. Like Curtis Mayfield is my favorite musician, period.
Oh, wow.
Like he's just my
legend.
He's my guy. He's him, Bobby Womack, George Clinton, you know, Boots.
Yes.
Barnes. You know, I listen to a lot of that. Just Anita Baker. That's just when I'm not in rap mode. And then as far as new guys, I mean, I like Vince Staples. I like Boldy James. I like who else do I like?
What's his name?
I like Isaiah Rashad.
Okay.
I like Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar is like probably the better of the more recent young guys. That's from that 2010s generation.
Right. I agree.
And then like under the underground type dudes, I like Ja Monty. I don't know if you heard of him. He's hard.
Never heard. I haven't heard of him.
Check him out. Yeah, Ja Monty.
John Monty, okay.
Hard.
John Monty. Got it.
Yeah, Ja-Monte. He's hard. Vic Spencer, Chris Crack. I wouldn't call them young though.
Right.
Who else?
Who's the kid? Corday, YBN.
Corday. He's hard. Yeah, I haven't listened to a lot of his stuff, but he's dope.
Yeah.
I like Maxo Cream a lot. I think he's dope. There's a guy out of Kansas City, man. His name is Riley. He's incredible. He's one of my favorite rappers. Out of the hometown.
Okay.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. Fuelo. There's a dude named Fuelo. He's from Topeka, Kansas. He's incredible. I slap his music like he not from my town. Like, it's not no what do you call it? Like, it's no nepotism. He's just dope.
Right.
Ebony Tusks. I've been listening to a lot of Ebony Tusks. You should check them out too.
Okay.
They're more like an industrial sounded band.
I like the name.
There's a guy out of Chicago named Pete Sake. Have you ever heard of him?
That I am familiar with. Yes.
He's dope.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
He's dope. Pete Sake is dope.
Yes.
Stove God is dope. Stove God Crooks. He's dope. Yeah, man. It's a lot out there, man. You just gotta go looking for it.
Yeah, you named a bunch. I like the fact that you named a bunch, and that you were on the spot too. So it already popped in your head naturally.
I listen to a lot. Isaiah Rashad's new album. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all the TDE stuff, man. I like all the TDE stuff.
Nice.
There's a guy named Remble. I like him. He's like
Remble.
Remble, Remble. He's dope. He's from LA.
Okay.
It's gangster. It's gangster music. There's a guy named Two Gun Kiwi. I've been listening to a lot of him. He's from Kansas City. Yeah, man. Like those are like my chambers. Like I'm either listening to like super local hometown stuff, old school music, or like I said, like the underground, like John Monty and
Yes.
Soul Guy and that kind of stuff. So Flea Lord is dope too. He's dope. I like Flea Lord.
Oh, shout out to the homie Try. He's from Brooklyn. He's a good brother, man.
Peace.
Peace, man.
Yeah, Flea Lord is hard.
Aaron, shout out Aaron.
Conway is hard. All that stuff. Yeah, I listen to it all. I listen to anything, man. But that's what I said earlier. Like I'll give anything a listen. I'll give anything a spin. At least once. I'll try it out.
So this is I would love to have you on. I've been doing a series called Mix and Match, and it's super fun. Mm-hmm. And it's like going to a buffet. You mix and match what you want to put on your plate. You create and build your own combo. You got to get on with us, man. It's the homie Tri Burrow. He's a regular. We got another brother named Brad from North Carolina, North Cackalack. And then the fourth person is usually a guest that just comes on with us. Yeah. We do mix and match is basically you write a list of 15 build your own combos in terms of MCs, groups. So basically, I'll give you an example. Pasa Noose of De La Soul and Havoc of Mobb Deep. And then it's a weird concoction, but that'll be your list. So you put 15 of different people, and I think it'll be cool for you to be on, man. I think I would love to see
it out, man. I'll be down to check it out.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool for sure.
Word up.
And yeah, man, it's fun. You know, it gets your creative juices flowing, and then being an MC, it's just challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. So since we are in the same class photo, close to the same era, you mentioned Nas earlier, and yeah, so he is my number one, and I know that it's hard. Yeah, he's my number one, and I know it's hard because it's MF Doom. There's Rakim. There's everybody and their mama.
Right.
So, but Nas to me, like when he did Illmatic, I think that he embedded being on the Mount Rushmore of albums. Mm-hmm. So I must ask Stik Figa this. I got to ask the brother Stik Figa this. Do you think in this lifetime will we see a DJ Premier and Nas collabo? That was supposed to happen in 2005, but hasn't happened.
Nas gives me the impression that he don't want to do that. Cause
damn it,
I feel like I want it, you want
it.
Everybody with a brain, anyone normal wants it.
Exactly. I love that answer. I love it.
It seems like an obvious answer, but Nas clearly I honestly feel like he's trying to distance himself from Illmatic because it was such a pivotal album and he knows he can never top it. So it seems like he just wants to distance himself from his 90s days and just figure out a way to be a legacy rapper. Like he's trying to figure out how to be Jay-Z. What do we call that? Quarterback, armchair quarterback, but
armchair quarterback, yeah.
But I think that's the problem, is that he's chasing, or he feels he has been playing second fiddle to the Jay-Z acclaim, even though he's the better rapper. Yes, I think Jay is an incredible rapper before anybody jumps on me, but I'm just saying, between Jay and Nas, I pick Nas every time.
Well, you and I both agree. And here's the thing. I understand, and that's a great point of removing himself from the whole Illmatic situation. But
pressure.
I just feel like if Nas can do something separate from that and not even recreate, but if you could come up like Royce da 5'9" and Premier, they did a boom bap collabo. I just want to see Nas make at least 3 or 4 songs with Preemo for like now, and then everybody could say, okay, cool. Us fans,
We could leave
thank
him
you for
alone.
doing
He probably just feels
exactly.
dogged by it. I think he just feels like, man, they just want me to. He still raps about it. You know?
Yes, he does.
And I'm with Triborough. Like I don't hate those new albums with Hit Boy. Like they're not bad albums, but it's not
Right.
it's not what I signed up for.
And
I didn't get on the Nas train to listen to him rap about brunch. Like I got kind of tight. I'm not gonna hold you. Just keeping it all the way real. Like I was like, it's really a song about brunch on here. Like why?
yeah. Yeah.
Hear that?
Yeah, because we all have brunch. I'm sure we've had brunch on our own time.
Brunch. I have a wife. You know, we go out and get brunch, but I'm not sure y'all want to hear me rap about. I mean, you may want to hear me mention brunch.
Right.
Rap like 1-2 lines.
There you go.
He made a whole song about brunch, bro. Had me hot. I ain't gonna lie to you. Had me hot.
Wow.
I was like, it's really a song out here about brunch.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, brunch.
Yeah, mimosas.
Sunday fun. That man raps Sunday Fun Day. He's Nas, bro. Why is he saying Sunday Fun Day?
Yeah, I didn't
sign up for that. That's not what I signed up for.
Yeah, when he said that, I was cringing. I'm not gonna lie. On the way home, bro, I was like, ugh.
Sunday,
like we don't.
That's what we doing.
That's what we do here.
Sunday Fun Day rap.
It's the whole. We talking about practice.
Yeah, we talking about like what is.
We talking.
Listen to it again too because I bought it. Like I'm such a Nas. I just bought it. I didn't even have to. He's Nas. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy your album. I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. It's just like he's in that stage where he just wants to, he wants to elevate. He wants to be. I want to stand next to the young kids. But there's a way to do that. I think too. There's a way to do it and not lose your aura, yourself. And no one's gonna tell him this. Because we're just fans. Nobody in the circle is going to tell him that. So
exactly. And well, you know what? As an eternal optimist, stick figure, I'm gonna keep hoping. And as people, yeah. And as people tell me, and they tell me nostalgic, don't hold your breath. I think my breath. I'm gonna turn blue. I think.
Since I was how old? Man?
Both of us.
Detox my whole life. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. And it's still not.
I'm never gonna get it, but I do hold out hope. So I get you. I feel you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, because So now here's Dr. Dre. He's swole. He's got his own island. Literally, he has his own island. So now
he's divorced.
Yeah, he's divorced. And
why can't I get my detox?
You have time. You got time.
I want a Detox album.
Man. Detox, Detox, Nas and Preemo and so who else? The Far Side, all 4 of them together. I want to see that too. The Far Side. I just think
oh man, Far Side reunion would be the one thing I'm holding out hope for is Outkast getting back together. Like we're gonna be, me waiting on Outkast is like, those what they call like the Deadheads, the people, the Grateful Dead people.
Jerry Garcia, yeah.
Jimmy Garcia and them. I'm gonna be that old, like or Rolling Stones or whatever. I'm gonna be that guy with gray in my beard and a pot with a big belly. I'm gonna be in the heat somewhere, burning up. Looking at old 3000 and old Big Boy when they finally reunite, because I'm looking for it.
Me and you are gonna be sipping on lemonade. Yep. We're gonna be Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. I'm gonna be like,
Triborough got another one, Black Star Madlib album.
Oh yeah, that's coming out. Well, that's coming out actually. So that's coming. Yeah.
I'm in the believe it when I see it stage of my rap fandom these days. I
know.
You're an eternal optimist, and I respect that. And I'm a bit of a cynic, so we're at opposite ends of this coin. I
That's
still
cool.
want it though. I'm not like
Yeah, right.
I got, it's just that way. It's just they let me down.
I know.
Over and over.
Absolutely. But no, man, like Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite, he was bragging about his college days. He's throwing the football to himself. Me and you are gonna be 80 years old, and we're gonna be like, I remember back in them days when Preemo and Nas never did an album.
Right.
Good times.
And the way people are dying, like dude from Zion I died, and I remember
Oh my
that was
God,
really sad
bro.
for me because that song "Silly Putty" with him and Grouch, I believe it's
Yeah.
Grouch or Eli, I can't
Yes.
remember.
Living
It's
Legends.
Grouch, but
It is Grouch. Yeah.
man, that song was, that was like
Fu-
my song. Like I wore "Silly Putty" out. That was one of my favorite songs ever. And yeah, seeing him die and Gift of Gab too,
Yeah.
it's just like, man,
It's scary.
the clock is running, man, so
Yeah.
and think, we were living some pretty crazy times. So it's just important to, if you got something you want to do or you want to try out, get it happen because none of it's promised. I don't know what people's spiritual journeys
I'm spiritual.
but
I'm spiritual.
none of it's promised, bro. So before you go into the next one, try to get as much of it done as you can. And having said that, Nas getting a studio premiere.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the enthusiasm. Yeah, man.
Premiere.
Spoken natural facts spoken by Stik Figa, and everything he said is valid and factual because this life is not promised.
You from Chicago. I'm gonna hit
Yes, sir.
Somebody. Juice.
Woo! I'm glad you know what's up. I'm glad you know what's up.
Hard. Those days.
Yes.
I don't know what Juice is doing now. I'm sure he's still stupid nice, but
Yep.
Juice probably, there was a time when I was sure he was the best rapper in the world. Juice and Vakill. Remember Vakill?
Ooh, yes, of course.
Was that so him and Juice had that song?
Yes. Oh man, dude. See, I love it.
Yeah, man. I love
this
it.
Man, look at Kansas Topeka representing, and he knows his underground Chicago hip hop. This is what it's all about.
Vakill, man, Common. I just entered that Common, one of my favorite rappers ever as well. I probably
in your top 5?
10. He's in my top 10.
Okay, cool.
But he's in
my top 10 as well. Yeah, top 10.
He's in my 10. Like Cube, like my top. All right, I've been working on it for a while too. All right, so my top 10 is like
love it.
No certain order. All right.
Okay.
Track. Scarface.
Okay.
Now we talking 10. All right. Scarface. Nas.
I love it. Common.
Cube.
Okay.
Rakim.
Oh, yes. The God.
Andre 3000. All right, now we at the bottom 5. Common.
Okay.
Devin the Dude.
Devin.
It's too early. I'm still gonna say it.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. Kendrick.
It feels early, but I'm still putting him in there.
That's cool.
40.
Okay.
And y'all don't know him, but my homeboy Ron. But y'all know him. But he's that good. He's from Kansas City.
His name is Ron. Ron. Okay.
Top 10. But yeah, I could do 20, 25, like, Monch is in there. Eminem messed it up. He kept putting out music.
Is he still in there?
He was in there. like all the way up to like I even give him encore. But it's just
you benefited the doubt. You gave him the benefit of the doubt.
encore is giving him benefit of the doubt.
Yes, it is.
But after that,
I know.
Oof.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like being forced to watch a B movie in a theater and pay $20 for it.
Yeah, like seeing Be Cool. You ever seen Be Cool? You ever pay for it?
No, thank God, no.
Yeah,
yes,
I paid
it's not.
It.
You pay for it?
Yeah, I saw it when it came out, and I walked out. That's Eminem's like back half of his career.
Yeah.
He's still nice. He's still a great rapper, but
yeah,
the music is just not. No.
I know. I agree.
No way, Jose.
I agree.
And did you catch the Lupe Fiasco Royce 5'9" battle?
I did, and that's a good question because who do you think?
Chicago.
Tops? Woo! I love that.
Chicago is the answer.
Let's go, man.
Yeah, let's go, Chicago.
I love it, man.
No, I mean I hate that it even happened because I do like Royce. I actually really respect Royce's pen.
Yeah.
A ton. But I just
yes.
The way that whole thing played out, I was just not feeling the way Detroit was carrying that. I didn't feel how Royce was carrying that situation. I was confused, really.
Yeah.
It really confused me. I was like, are we battling or are we not? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's like he was upset and happy at the same time. I didn't know what he was doing.
He was really like on some bipolar energy.
Right, right.
I didn't understand it. And then somehow it became Lupe's fault that he responded to him. I don't know. I was confused. But
yeah, it's like it wasn't even battle on wax. It was like battle of the minds. I don't know.
Yeah, and it was like battle of the IGTVs.
Exactly.
It was weird.
Yeah, man. That's dope. Well, that's so cool that you put out your top 10. I think you're the first guest on SlickBlast to throw out his top 10, and I love it, man.
It'll change in like a year or two. But
right?
You know, it always changes. That's the fun of it. But no one's been able to take Face off of my number one. Nas gets close, but then he made a song about brunch, man.
Man, Nas, come on, man. Stop it, please.
Stop it. Just
stop.
Make what you want to hear, bro. Just go make it.
Yes. Well, you heard the man. Hey, man, I just want to, it's been dope talking to you, man. I love your energy. I love your, you're just enthusiasm. You sound like you're good people. And we'll definitely stay connected, man. We'll stay in touch.
We'll do. I appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. I appreciate you. Is there anybody that you want to shout out that's special to you before we finish out this session?
Man, I just want to shout out everybody and anybody who supports the music and supports other people's music in a real way, and just stay positive out there. That's all I want to tell people. Just these are crazy times we living in, and just try to stay prayed up.
Yes.
That's it. I don't want to, because if I try to make it someone specific, they get mad if I don't, the person that I'm supposed to say, I don't mention them. So
that's true.
Shout out to everybody. So shout out to everybody on the live, everybody who's ever, been responding positively to what we're doing. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. I love it, my brother, man. It's been a pleasure to have you on. Man, have a blessed rest of your evening, and stay healthy. Keep making dope music. Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna check for that Conductor Williams Joyland you said that's coming up, right?
Joyland. Yeah, man.
Joyland.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, brother. We'll keep in touch. God bless.
Later,
man.
Be cool.
You too. All right. We got. All right. There you have it, ladies and thank you, man. Appreciate that. We got to do this. Yeah, man. He just said he's down for it. So, we'll do the mix and match for sure. Part 4, actually. A continuation of yesterday. We'll see if we can do that Thursday. All right. So, Stik Figa, all the success to him and good health. He's a good dude. He sounds like a great dude. So check out his new album coming out with Conductor Williams called Joyride. And if you don't know his resume, go check out his earlier stuff. Check out that El Orange album, by the way. It's The City Under the City, it's called. It's Stik Figa, and El Orange is called The City Under the City. Phenomenal hip-hop album. So until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Bald Kid Nostalgic, and this is SlickBlast RapCast. Peace.